Akufo-Addo asoro no kan or say the person is still alive. Akufo-Addo na yeku eyi Paul Afoko. Or say at a point or say constituency bia enya 10,000 Ghana cedis. Akufo-Addo say hey, you cannot ye di won kan no command kwasiafo no. You cannot go and give it to the Imbrechi and the impetus. The beginning of his end as the chairman of the NPP. Afoko has spoken. And what Afoko said, very interesting. We are still on the NPP. At a point where a former chairman of the NPP, Afoko Netam, about $15 million, Ghana must go, Edema Akufo-Addo or Nwani Fie. Mumbusa Afoko Semeboa. Afoko tam $15 million. Na egu Ghana must go more one fee businessman or call bank and or call withdraw $50 million in cedis. On one fee no tamama Akufo-Addo say, wo farani elections. Omu nkomu kuna to actually. Paul Afoko and the Wakasa or say, at a point I realized NPP had been branded an elite and account party. I wanted to change that. Onu 10 year Afoko no. Or see I am the chairman of the NPP no. Obewu say NPP no. Na omo bon you know eya dien ade ya frɛ no party yesi wo makɔ school ene party yesi omo ya kamfo now osi oye na adwene say opese o rebrand the party no the NPP had been branded osi ne ya brandi omo sa but unim adikudi nti okasa no say owura party no ohun say the brand na wa bontin no that is not what is actually transpiring in the party. Into oye no na adwene say obey some small changes be to rebrand the party. And one uncle one can say share yen yenum bon otwin bi ni o ye kiusu so obewu. We are not going to allow you to change otani Paul Afoko untumi free srem and my NPP headquarters wa salam down and me chere de ye because ye tibinim ye na ye pay and then almost started ganging up against Paul Afoko. And what they wanted to do, they wanted to even kill him and kill his brother. That is the NPP. Where a former chairman, Nisikako NPP, he has invested millions into Paul Afoko. Yeah, and say he wanted to rebrand the NPP. That basically, among realized say they had branded as an elite and an account party because also Remuno. Oh, say party the tribalism no woman. No, say tribalism ne jinem. On say party no asantefo no ene wom no mudi nkofo atem on say asantefo ni bi emunipa on say group bi wo party mu a na omo person de obi aba ehwe into ye na adwiri say nkon ne nkopɛ sɛ oboa na nka sebio he mame kan kyerɛw so what is the NPP ni ka say NPP a account party or person ka kyerɛw say NPP is a tribal asantefo party but he's being diplomatic about it. Paul Afoko using akan no he didn't want to sound the straight shot for people to know where he's coming from. He's a politician. He's being very, very careful the words he uses. Paul Afoko was trying to tell us to say the party was a tribal party. And as a northerner who came to lead the party, he wanted to rebrand the party. And so, tribalistic or party, they did not allow him to rebrand the party. The party has been a tribal party for years. And then NPP be tribalistic about everything. It's a party that was born in tribalism. In the Paul Afoko, we are kind of politically correct. He's trying to be politically correct. And instead of using the word akan. In NPP dictionary, so because akana, it means asantefo. Yeah. Because NPP petumia, almost someone here santinia, or free mensia, or ya desie. Some NPP petumia. No makacho say omu we need 2 minutes we are almost a party no a asantefo party but so omu petumi almost a akamfo mu nyina momra na yenge party ni siye enti ye hia bonofo ye hia kowfo ye hia edien eye domafo ye hia akamfo oje 2 minutes na odigina kumase say e yotumfo ne chia me a friend bafo akoto ya santini and a yi ni bo 700 eti party no. So they have two things. You see, their definition of account depends where they stand at the moment. So what is the NPP ni using the word akana? Ask where he is standing. Baby original and or find that word. It depends where they are, their condition. That will determine whether to use akan or asante. It is someone here to me they want accounts. They are an account party. So when you to me we are a asante for and the NPP about power. That is their dictionary. And the Paul Afoko is being politically correct because he knows his people. Even just saying, say, Asantifoni be SA party, no, or you say they can come after him. So he's being politically correct by saying, say, I can for. Asama mi king, and if a pa ne ya tra, obi to edgeman wisi bone. Hashtag £700. And if a pa na maka asamwe, and the na maka e yatro. Obi a Ghana bia nim say they make an enokre. Da ban and NPP winning power. Yede sa tumi no eko account ni bia account hini bia enim. The only ohini adini call enim eh me some of 2472 because the party only recognize 2472. They don't recognize any account ni hini bia because omumbu account hini bia or account memu. Da ban NPP e winning party a winning election ka say yede president now we win no ye kofi de kwa ohini we fie or ya kan ni hene da be na ati bi da. They only recognize Otumfuo because a Asantefo party momi enkan ye honto ene enjai embrabra so no ene na ekuye. So they don't recognize Akamfo. The NPP as a political party, some of Asantefo mo are tribal. Ohini bi o ya kan ni bi o mo respect no. They only respect Otumfuo and I don't have a problem with that. But say Otumfuo nkwa na obu no say ono nkwa na party ni ane dia ene Asantefo party a then opetumi a kache Otumfuo ene Asantefo kakra bi so mama otumi. So opetumi a men kasa Akamfo party. Sa ni die na wo de ma Otumfuo as a political party no fa sa ni die ne ma ko hene. Fa sa ni die ne ma doma hene. Fa sa ni die ne ma bonofo hene. Fa ni die ne ma obi a oka akankasa bia hene. Se ne be on behu se ye nyina ne ye pretumi abafie. Na wontumi kan je se ye nyina embra be pretumi na tumi no de enkunimdie ba na de akoma hene ba akoka je se party ne e hya asante afuruma e asantefo na de party ba power no. And that is my problem with the NPP. I don't hate anybody in the NPP. The selective way they do things. And then a tribal party. And then I'm up my party no essay. And then I'm up your party not being attractive now. Now I'm going to tell you Afoko Sakaye. Afoko say NPP is making a big mistake by holding its presidential primaries in January. Or say party no in penifom di anim no mu jimi to hold presidential primaries even before executive primaries. No, it shows it's a party. No, they are not serious. They are making one of the biggest mistakes. The party will implode. Party no, I bet say free inside. How do you lose an election with 2 million votes? 2 million. And in less than a year, you want to go and have a presidential primaries. And the party structure says, first, you need to make sure executives do your primaries first. And sana executives, and making sure say the presidential. How do you quickly decide say you will do the presidential before the executive? It means say there are some people in the party omodinkan ekuki on agenda. This is a former chairman of the party. Onyeni pahunu biasa 90% of omo NPP was catching omo. Obi ani NPP mo akosku jan no. Obi ani NPP wo nipa chen no. Obi ani NPP or personality chen Paul Afoko. Obi ani NPP wo nim nyansa chen no. Paul Afoko the standard no fa one nyawotama klomu standard na wo omo no mo tie party no mo nim party no nyansa. Enti Acheampong bi antumi pagya ne tinka say me de me yedi pacha Paul Afoko. Paul Afoko is better than majority of the people in the party and the executives. In fact, he can pay every executive. Enti when Paul Afoko tells you say I have been there before, I have been the party chairman before, I have used my money to run the party before, I've made losses, I am telling you on authority, the party will explode when you try to have your elections of electing the flag bearer in January. Or say, the NPP is making a big mistake by holding the presidential primaries in January. I see you are making a big mistake. But you see, unya party nanabi di enima. When you are making a mistake, will you know? No, nanabi Jimmy. Unya party abronya regional chairman. Can you actually make the right decisions? No. Unya party chairman want to be a national chairman aya. Can you think right? No. Unya Pentium 2 JFK get Bebutu, no your general secretary. Can you make right decisions? No. So o chairman indisposed, you party need national chairman. Can you make right decisions? No. When you have a cow as a third vice chairman, can the party make a good decision? No. So the party is being led by fools, animals. They can't think. ama enkwara no mudi achire no impeteku no sa imbrechie no they are also learning the same thing. They are not asking questions. Oh ye ne partner na dom ye de Bawumia na ewo ye de Kennedy na ewo ye de NPP de adware into impeteku di achire impetekulization. They have been petekulized and as some peteku no omashesha omo no mudi achire they have been petekulized into omo saline into a honorable impetualization, how they impetualize and impetualize how they think. They think in an impetualized way. Into my same peteku. Party no my same peteku. So they have impetualized them. Into one na so mo ka party no wasama. Utie omonkwara am say na mo Jimmy. Can't you differentiate between the papa na ade anya? Dem penifo no ye na enyamu. They don't get it. Because they have been imbrachalized, Mbana has been imbrachalized, and Mbemana have been peticularized. Omadane man imbrechi, and Omadane Mbemana in petiku, NPP delegates and supporters. So they have imbrachalized them, and then they have peticularized them, Bema, into Omu DHD gang. I might say nine. And they cannot think, they cannot reason, they cannot ask questions because Omu do SSP, Omu go school be. SS no yedum ko jina gate na no masi peg ye pion mo nko o masi peg o pe labo age adan a ye de wo fa be wu me nyisika nti adwene na eye basic adwene ye de badwene no ebi ni ho Musa dan kwa na koy and research no de be kire. So the party is full of particularized human beings and abrachalized human beings. Nti unwo mo a the reason and na America say when you see an MPP person sa enkwara girls bi omdidi di MPP chi wo hwe omo ho pa wo hwe omo ho wo hwe ewi e wo mo ho a I say ewi no kura ye brown omo ho ye fin omo dan tokura dan mu ente me sa mo nkwara no mu future ne esia end game ne sen se me na MPP mu ana be ma jimi mi nya no aware wa na say oh yes side we build there na wo ye. It's a question or sanka mo ma mo frɛ mo ka say inteku impeteku se wo abrechi a wo di MPP o end game ne sen wo di MPP chia de akwa ware ana wo di echira kosi dan ana wo di echira kos de na wo di echira de aye e de na wo di MPP ne chia because omo handle MPP with their money no they are telling you say the direction the party is going it will implode party ye mo ba blast it. They are doing this all because some executives, they want to still stay in power. A Bawumia strategy, a Bawumia plan. And you see, Adebakwana me say, Japan, Bryan Acheampong, Japan, and Nketiah, they all know Bawumia is rigging the elections. They can't talk. Because if you believe that you are a good competitor, now Bawumia a rigging election, you need to step away. Yeah. You need to issue a statement and say, you know something, from what I am seeing, the party is rigging the election for one person. Nketiah Japan, I'm not going to contest this. But if you sit, whilst you know they are rigging the election out to them, where Jimmy? Where Jimmy? Because Kennedy, Japan, Nketiah, and the last person, these people know they will not win the elections. They know Bawumia any executives no almost register no the party register no. The reason why intia oman penema mo be registered people cannot float money and they cannot buy delegates. They know Bawumia has the money on a summary. So they are not going to open it up. Now the register they have now, until they put together a new register, you cannot win because this is the same register he used in rigging the first elections. This is the first register. Bawumia the rigging first one, Onya 63 or and he's going to use the same register. Now what they have done is say they have opened it up a little bit and brought people who were appointees of Akufo-Addo. They have brought in past MPs who were appointed by Akufo-Addo. They have brought in people who used to work with Bawumia to be part of the register. So he has opened the register in his favor. So there's no way anybody in the NPP can win elections against Bawumia. Actually, wait, Jimmy. It is we a politician. This is the time for you to pull the plugs. You all pull the plugs and say Bawumia. That's what you do. You prove, say, your inclusion can make a difference. But when you say yeah, the answers are sure muchi. Udu Jimmy says still I would do fear back at your mammy. Undru my bono when you to do. And you been the idea Kennedy and in Petekuno. Kennedy and in Brechino. Bawumia Brechino in Petekuna, dear. They know some more for dear. What bought a Diane Gudemo. Into Bawumia Petekun in Brechina. They have imbrecialized themselves and particularized themselves in a way they know they will rig the elections. It is summary. Mrs. Samira, young friend Samira, who called the Chrome Chada, and the Masha, one. Yabo and the Black Star Chade, Bona Samira, Samre, and if who the bush of water, lie, let's or Nimomo. Oh, free, a Chad. Chad could be a friend of Margaret, a Hona Samri, oh, free. Margaret, oh, Tracapatana, there 2 hours, 30 minutes drive, a whole free, your for Margaret, a Crobia, or more normal padestre. And in the time a child ye keke no and a samre ne pusu ne papa and ne wofa baako omode omoba Ghana enti samre no ono and the child ne Ghana bono ne nsahye ne demir fam no wo hwe o hye ne din wapam eye on sa enchichide bi no in confirm ye bi no de chisom twa picture o kam ogu abontene sa no ma bi no mo tantantan bi no and o hye dem no de ne nsahye de no wo hwe because ni kurom team and Ghana na ebo samre ni din no Mopa mumbucha nso the best certificate mra na mo hwedin wo so eye samre enye samira obedu Ghana no broflize no because onu sem wagimi ofri mahrit sa krono mahrit e ho no free 2.5 hours from capital into no e child ni o ni yiri child ni no omo wie ska fulani gan ne tiri besi na se fulani or you fulanized. She's a fulanized human being. You cannot take the fulanization from her. She has been fulanized, and she is a fulanized human being. Into ordinary Kruno, they know what they are doing. Oh, 2 international players, Bawumia Kasankasa Nasifri Burkina. Some prisoners who check moi, who check Bawumia Kasa. And it's an Asiedu Nketiah catch say, Bawumia Bushua for you now, my NDC for Bawumia on NPP new. Bawumia your NDC, Mr. S. I think I had that video yesterday. Asiedu Nketiah catch them. Or see, Bawumia, Mr. S, get him the video. Or see. Bawumia busuafonya no me NDC executives Bawumia Mahama ne papa Bawumia papa served under Eddie Rawlings Bawumia ne bra he was in NDC obia Bawumia o NDC ni Bawumia into ono or blacks or local on it ne yere no or samre international players omo nyina naturalize no maba. So these are not people you can trust. They don't care. Samre enfan wo ono makeup no pato adaka po inti ane eka something muntie yanhwe ya yebema foreigners abedi Ghana so and these 2 foreigners eya samre ene eya de Mahmoud. If we don't take care, these 2 foreigners will come, they will destroy our politics, our democracy, because one say Bawumia time na our power mama nche the different adequate pictures Bawumia onye mampurusini Bawumia time na our power time na ye kuma kusasifo no ene mamprisifo ko no na nka osa Bawumia kasa na se na nka ne busuafo pa na busuafo papa e wo mamprisi a anka obeka se me busuafo ni bi wu and at the same time the kusasifo ni bi wu nti munja ntokwa no. It does not matter where you belong because eden ya ntokwa no we busuafo wu but because Bawumia wada da nkofo so o ye mamprisi ni ono ne mamprisi ni Burkina ena omudi wure mu omuni passport. Inti Bawumia no ono he is not there for Ghanaians. Inti ayana moka yense mamprisi for ku ye mamprisi for ku obi no ono ntia ase. Ne yere so free Chad, ono so Samre, ono so free Marhat. Inti they are 2 different international players. They are all not Ghanaians. And we cannot sit in this country and take this country and give it to foreigners, 2 foreign players. Me say Motam Ghana edema Samre ene Mahmudu one day tia na akura bi free e Chad abase Ghana ye ne dia ana na sa ne papa e president ya tia na the cruise guka mu aba omu nyina ekeda mu kon na mo sa an ana yes wa ene first lady na mo de nam Jubilee House o ya kekra paw mo ma ye hwe ye hu ye na Samre ene Mahmudu omu ye dangerous mo me enko enim. Mr. S, I wanted you to send me that video of Asiedu Nketiah telling Ghana for say Bawumia onye NPP ni. Guys, I had it somewhere. I think it was yesterday, right? Yes, I have it here. Asiedu Nketiah cheche mu kiremu. O see Bawumia ne Samre, especially Bawumia, onye NPP ni o. Mumiantie, Asiedu Nketiah. I hope this is the video.
Unim sena ne maame ye me woman organizer.
Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Nana maame ye woman organizer.
Woman organizer. Nti da ne maame free mu no me so me suma delegation say yenkoye me woman organizer ye. So, Edna, ni nuapani ene Chief Bawumia ono ye former ambassador to Burkina Faso. Ene ede no ko Burkina Faso. President Mahama Bryan.
Wow.
And Naya Kasei, or a member of NDC Council of Elders, Bawumia Nuapani.
Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
Nuapani, a NDC Council of Elders member. Wow. A friend of Chief Bawumia. So, Nibia no Mumienu, Bakwan be pre DC, a womanim, Bakwan be pre MP, a womanim.
Wow.
Ne papa Obewuno. Now, ono na ye chairman of ye Council of State, Barbara President Rollins, ye president.
Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Entim Nketiah Bawumia ba bi na ma ese minim no. I say oye me tamfo a. Me kura se nyame betua me.
Ene so you feel nipa.
Oye nipa.
Bawumia yan Disney flat. Eye ni bre na maraba NPP. One Samre. Samre your child ni Fulani, yes, she has been funeralized. Enti so ena osako history ma Kennedy Japan so ya wunani. Kennedy Japan so tete atasa. Kennedy so maame ya wunani Kennedy Japan. Kennedy Japan so ne papa ya wunani ba. Na Kennedy no time ya wo no ne nkwara brem na sebio aware ne seye. Ena ne maame mo Kennedy story. We mo munya Ghana fo mo Everyone ya Ghana fo. Omunya right people mo ka kure. Kennedy Japan so ne papa ya wunani. Also free fosu. And then ye wu na busiani bia ofosu. Ye wu na busiani bia say oh aha na Kennedy ya ha ena ne papa tete no ebi ni ho onka bi da. De bia na me maame na den ekua den Kennedy so maame ne papa gya ye no. Ena omote Kennedy ena okotena Kumasi. Awunani ba o. Samo party we. Itokotena Kumasi no. Ena Kennedy yesuma no okotena ne wofa bi nchen Kumasi ne story no Kennedy onya asenio. Onfre asendom pimbia oboa opomeka nchemboa. Kennedy Kumasi yesuma no edi be 11-12 years ena ka bo no. It ka bo Kennedy ni ti ehwe fom. Mese bumusa no osem bo ochina metena TV so ka se meboa. They operated Kennedy ni ti. And the Kennedy san nyoma na oye no. The second accident na esi no mo say I Kennedy broni akwa editi mu adwuma. It was what happened when he was a kid. He knows. Kennedy me countryman me ne fia wona oya wonani oya pure analyzed oya igbeni ba Kennedy Japan but obeka NPP ho no ofere so obeka chem so oya wonani ai ne papa nka say ya wonani donko enya nchen o kamela kopela glem but obeduru akanfo party no on person mu behu bebi ofri into so ofri asendom pem e wona ne ma me free nipa na ma me free asendom pem papa free mumbusa ne sane papa free sane ma me free asendom pem a ne papa free o trans e kan na brabo mu nsem on kan bebi ne papa free da oya wunani Samira child ni Bawumia NDC Burkina ni sankofo we nyina ye nkofo omunya ye nkofo omunya different people bia because you need to understand say party a dangerous party here. Paul Afoko can say me. And before I move to the next topic, listen to Paul Afoko. Tie, well, former chairman of the NPP, Tie Paul Afoko. But they are mumunim the Ecos or Ghana.
The NPP won. But
yes.
You didn't go. Yes. Anyway, talking about you didn't get to see that and all of that. 2014 elected, 2015 you were kicked out. Tell me about it. Your tenure was marked by fierce internal disputes, and eventually that led to your suspension. Chairman Afoko, tell me, looking back, do you feel misunderstood or unfairly treated?
I think it's both actually. It's both.
You were misunderstood
and
unfairly treated.
Yeah.
You stand by that.
Yeah, I do. I stand by that. You see, for those who opposed me, those who didn't want me to be chairman, and fought me all the way, as I said, vote buying, mudslinging, lies being told, all of that. I still won with a huge majority. They never gave up. In fact, I was told that one of them said, and my tree is not good anyway, but
go ahead.
I speak tree.
At least you try. No problem. Go ahead.
Or see what the chairman. Yeah, chairman.
Someone said that.
Yes, he's still alive.
Wow.
He's still alive, and he knows himself. Anyway, so we came to Accra, and it was all this. I wanted a reform of the party. I didn't want this party to continue being seen in that light of being an elitist party. I wanted it to be seen as a party of the people, a mass party. And so I started looking at the reforms. In fact, one of the reforms that I brought about, which was an operational thing anyway, was that I insisted on every constituency in this country opening a bank account. And I pushed 10,000 CDs into every single constituency.
You did that. Chairman, yes. You are loaded. Every single constituency. You gave them 10,000 CDs.
Yeah, but that wasn't my money.
That wasn't my money. You have a good heart. You did.
Yes. And I was opposed strongly, even within the executive.
Why?
Why should you be sending the money to your constituencies?
Oh, really?
No, don't do that. And I said, come on, we have to finance and fund our base. That was part of what I was.
But these are some of the same, these are the people, or some of them, who accused you of being out of touch with the grassroots, because it was some of, the comments that came up, and they felt that you were more aligned with internal factions than party unity. What would you say to that? How do you respond?
I would respond by saying that they were wearing blinkers. They had prejudged a situation and never had clear mind about me. You see, when you
Afoko is being too diplomatic. Asoma Kenya Akufo-Addo ntina waka. Ose omukọ sirem ekoye campaign. Ena owini ye. Ena Akufo-Addo ka say ye kwa Accra omra. Ya omra na Accra na omekire so a party chairman. Akufo-Addo asoro na waka no say the person is still alive. Akufo-Addo na yeku eyi Afoko. Ose at a point okase ose constituency bia enya 10,000 Ghana cedis. Akufo-Addo say hey, sikana ye di wonkran no come kwasiafo no. You cannot go and give it to the Imbrechi and the impeticus. Any the beginning of his end as the chairman of the NPP. That time, no, na Mahamudu Bawumia is the person Kufwa was introducing to Akufo-Addo to make sure, say, Omo Timi di Omonsa bo NPP sikemu. Afoko is directing you to how they stole the NPP money and how Akufo-Addo and Bawumia them stole the money. Now in the area, that time na Jakpa general secretary, Jakpa was snitching on Afoko. It Jakpa ne Bawumia mo ne Akufo-Addo bokotenasia. Na wakoke kansama kyerɛ omo. Owia no ada no ho aba se onim hwe because he's part of the executive. It omo ko meeting na. Then the things that Afoko expect to say Akufo-Addo ne gang ne be ye no na Akufo-Addo mo ato agu no so. Ɛhɔ no general secretary nkasa. And nche de meka say Jakpa is a snitch. Or your Russian go to jail. Until every time be party chairman, national chairman, executive betinasi aya meeting no, Afoko will go to Akufo-Addo, call Bawumia, and they will gang and tell them everything. It's there be an Akufo-Addo banu muna. Maame bosum bi na otom party na anymore na ne sinyine tutu bi no bosum ba beifo bi no. Na almost to work na omutie konkonsa. Onu teni no na oya against tia Afoko another teni. Mudafo no mu bi mu na moya problem no. Teni ba o ha adwene. Or the set jata 30. So that was what they were doing. It's every time Afoko Omoko meeting, he does not get the respect. Everything they vote on, he doesn't win. He could not understand because every day no on an executives no small team this year no mudin koma. Then Jakpa will go. Saba Akuna if a crab was Bakubi no on it he wasn't part. Jakpa was there. He was liaising between party office and the Akufo-Addo. Internet Akufo-Addo to Nima no run the party no. It Paul Afoko cast on 10,000 echo constituencies. No, the Dan Akufo-Addo, they use general secretary who is Japan. They have already entered the finances. So they rose up and said, no, where are you taking the money to? Because that was the place Paul Afoko was going to call for an audit. So party is now I am the chairman. I've come up with a plan. Let us go give every constituency 10,000 Ghana. Now before we do that, we need to audit. We need to audit what we have before we try to take some monies out. Inti eho ene Akufo-Addo mo ene Japan mo e gange up against Paul Afoko. Now, how are they going to take him out? They need to distract him. They need to make sure say Omudi Asemia Toswa or because Paul Afoko is using his power as the chairman to at least he's abusing his office. That's what I wanted to say. And why no muko Srim and no muko chairman no Adams. Mahama Adams was at the end and I almost set Paul Afoko near Greg Afoko up. So that time Greg Afoko, young guy, wired dread, he fits not fitted that particular scene, you know. Sometimes Greg Afoko, a young guy, wired dread, and Ghana so the Rastabia is guilty. Inti they put Greg Afoko in that situation because as somebody see, you know, Greg Afoko wasn't even there. He was called, and when he got there, they hanged him and said, "You." And I almost say Gregory, no one shame. Inti as somebody by you know, Akufo-Addo, that was when Akufo-Addo has started his second coup. On a Bawumia, a snitch like Japan. Kennedy Japan mu nyina no mu say chire. Iti what you are seeing, Paul Afoko no, debia no meka che ne say, and I say it in the air every day. Debia menya time bia aka na asem bia me say Paul Afoko be a man and stop being too diplomatic. Diplomacy and nkema unia man Greg nke ekunu wo jail no, yeah. You are a tough man. You are a successful businessman. Who are you scared of? Be a man and have balls and talk like a man. And stop pleasing. Oh, you're tenny. No matter what you do, you are a tenny, and that is how they will see you in the party. It is not about you conducting yourself. It is not about your intelligence, your intellectual know-how. It is not about your contribution to the party. The party is a party that belongs to Asantefo Kamfo. They will never give you that respect. If you get the opportunity to speak on the party's ills, just be raw in your language. Because it does not matter what you will do, how much diplomacy you play. They don't care. And that is my biggest problem with Paul Afoko. When he gets the opportunity to let the world know what the NPP stands for, he starts to sugarcoat words. Diplomacy, and community cook Gregory. Anka Gregory Afoko, ewu jailer, anka will blame you, Paul Afoko. Because that's your useless diplomacy, no, and and you need to be a man. You need to step up. You need to talk and let people know. At this point, the NPP cannot give you anything. I don't even think you go back to NPP looking for any position. So why do you still speak, make them feel like you owe them something? You owe them nothing. So party that's what party and Aswa. Speak truth in a raw form for the party to understand. When I wanted the NDC to come to power, I was straightforward with them. I spoke raw to them because I needed them to understand the reality. I have criticized every single person in the NDC, including John Mahama, because I wanted them to understand where they were when you're in the opposition. I wanted them to know the reality. So if you love something, you have to swallow the bitter pill by being honest and truthful to them. And that is the only way the NDC got to know that they needed to sit up. That is why John Mahama won with over 2 million votes. That is what being honest means. That is what it means. You should not try at this point. You were elected in 2014. They sacked you in 2015. It's an indictment on your career as a politician. Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, you elected in 2014. They made sure the following year they sacked you. Is it not an insult? Is it not? Huh? How can you sack a chairman after a year? It means that from the beginning, they never respected and considered you, Tenny, to be the party chairman. It's a fact. It's a fact. Stop playing diplomacy here. I respect you a lot. You have achieved a lot in your business life. I respect you, but this kind of diplomacy you are playing, Gregory, no, because Gregory was caught in that web because of you. Nobody knew Gregory. Nana Akufo-Addo had an issue with you. He decided to make sure he pays you back. You didn't do the guy anything because the guy is a person who is very vindictive. Nana Danko Akufo-Addo ne Bawumia mono, that is them. Nan say Bawumia catch Ghana for say, who is so Jimmy, but his inside, his inner monkey is dangerous. He said it publicly. And it is until Bryan Acheampong pushed Bawumia to the wall. And I'll catch Ghana for say, who is Jimmy, but my inside is a monkey. It is dangerous than Akufo-Addo. So Bawumia has actually given us glimpses or an idea of who he is. He has given us an idea. At us Academy, we know who he is. We know what he can do. We know his record. He has the most dirtiest record. Bryan Acheampong is a liar. We know. Bryan Acheampong at the point we know Olidi sucks to go shoot people at Ayawaso West Wagon. It is on him. He, at the end of the day, election 2020. So we know who Bryan Acheampong can, who he is, and what he can do. I don't care about them. This is the reality. Let us accept it and deal with it. We are not joking here. This is politics. It's either you are for or you are against. When I decided to endorse the NDC and said, I will make sure the NDC comes to power using my platform, I was for. It is either you are for or you are against. In politics, there's no neutrality. I'm neutral. There's nothing like neutral in politics. Nobody is neutral in politics. If today I decide not to use my platform to help project the NDC, I don't have to sit here and make it sound like I am here, I am there. I need to make sure I leave the NDC, projecting the NDC, and leave them to do their own thing. Because if I believe in the vision of John Mahama, I need to make sure I push that vision 100%. I don't do half job. If I like you and I like your vision and I want to support your vision, I put everything on the line to support it. And anytime Akwatia say, when it comes to Ghana politics, my commitment is to John Mahama. And not John Mahama as a person, but the wisdom in his head. The day I will stop endorsing John Mahama is the day I will make sure say wisdom. I have exhausted every wisdom in his head as a politician. So I don't worship John Mahama as a person. John Mahama can be my father, can be like any other person. He can be like any person who can commit a crime and also do good. But I worship the intelligence he has, the vision, and that is what I endorse. I am not that kind of person. Today, I am on Radio Gold. Tomorrow, I am on Power FM. The next day, I am on Angel FM. Like a political janitor, I need Jimmy don't know what to do. No, I am straightforward person. I cut, and I know I cut deep. I have principle. That is how I live my life. I need to know nobody can take me for granted. That is why when I have $1, I am proud and I'm confident because I will not stoop low because of some dirty small money, because somebody will come and give me a car, because somebody said, no, I don't do that. I've lived beyond that. Until my credibility is intact. No politician in Ghana can speak in my face because I don't owe anybody anything. I don't owe any politician anything. I have not gone and sat and had a deal with any politician in Ghana. Nobody in the NDC from John Mahama to the last person. Nobody. Until I know what I am doing. That's why I'm confident in what I do. I came to the table with my own gold in my hand. I didn't come to the table to beg you that share your gold with me. I came with my gold. I built my own gold. So I'm not coming to sit at the table and make you intimidate me. No, because I know what I am worth. I can bring a party that is formed today to come and take seat more than any of those young, small parties in Ghana. I can. And it is not because I know more than anybody, because of my consistency, my belief, the team I work with, and God giving me that wisdom. That is what I live by. And if you want to be truthful to the party, go straight and cut deep and stop brushing and doing this. No, Afoko, you are not helping them. The party not say, look in their face and say the party has fucked up. It's fucked up. You can't win elections now. You need to go back into exile. You, the party, have to go back like 22 years and reform the party. The principles are gone. Nyawotamaklo is speaking every day, has been speaking every day that the party is gone. Right now, the only thing we are waiting for, and I've said it before, my God, I'm nullifying this party in 2028. A group of termites and Impeteku and Imbreche will come up and form a new one. I will be the first person to force people in this party to form a new party. And I have that killer punch, and I'm keeping it for 2028. I have that antidote, and I'm keeping it to 2028. I will let this party go into exile for good. Some of the Impeteku and Imbreche will come out with a new party. I have said it. You will be shocked. CPP will even do better than the NPP. I'm telling you. Now, You see this story. The President of the Republic, John Dramani Mahama, and the Wakasa. And then John Mahama can. John Mahama says, Ghana cannot continue spending a staggering more than $15 million every year on renting properties abroad for diplomatic use. Peace at 4. Any South interest for. Dear John Mahama can say, Nana Nasimin Church, which I'm 240 to Naname door. Chia, tension him. Brofo me can say. And the President John Mahama wakasa mommy and see the bro from the weird medium actually a yemianoma or more PZ any or more South and Tresso na omunina ate asamna President Ekano ase. President Mahama ni.
Unim senane mame me woman organizer.
Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
I think I'm playing the wrong video. Mr. P, do we have that video on the system? Okay, I have it. Thank you. I just saw it. Okay, thank you.
No,
I'm still getting the wrong video. I'm still getting the wrong video. Mrs. Yes. Okay, pull it out for me. I think you guys didn't put it. You didn't. I'm sorry. This is a glitch from the production team. Now, the John Mahama kai nyina ewie or kan bro for no or say. Ghana. Embassy se wa bruchire nyina no. From Titiniano, what has happened and they say, your ambassadors of Bruche, America, UK, then dear babyano, a daya omutimuno, nina ya daya ya renti. Into every year biano, now you're spending $15 million near the tia rent. Now you're the tia rent. Eboha embassies require your dear, not your rent dino. Into a say, and now by we are a resetting government, they have come up with a new plan and strategy. And the plan is that, thank you, Mr. S, for bringing this in. And the plan is that, a diner you rent, they want to put a stop to it. Sign now, obe put a stop to it. Amo per se, and then, Ghana buying, nyankasa, yetumi yaden, yetumi eko to dying. Debema ya ambassadors na tinima ebe nyankasa Jappa. Send a baya busumi biano, tam sikan kwa bruche say you could share a dine rent. I'm an ambassador. This is John Mahama, the President of the Republic.
Let me be emphatic. Ghana cannot continue spending a staggering more than $15 million every year on renting properties abroad for our diplomatic use. This is not a judicious use of taxpayers' resources, and the reset agenda requires an immediate reversal of this trend. And that is why Cabinet has promptly approved the STRIDE initiative. And STRIDE refers to the strategic transition from rental to developing our own properties. I've tasked the Ministers for Foreign Affairs and Finance to work urgently to resolve this long-standing challenge. From my latest briefing, a transaction advisor has been appointed, standard designs are being developed, and funding mechanisms are already being negotiated. This decisive shift will ensure that our missions abroad are housed in properties that are owned by the Republic, reducing wasteful expenditure while safeguarding Ghana's dignity on the international stage.
Into President Mahama someone can say, embassy se wa bruchiri diplomat and I say omu si anemu I from ambassadors no majority in fact omu nyina edan mutimu nyina ye rent and every single country bia ye rent down who bia no yetua in dollars in a year no yetua something over $15 million. $15 million. And I tam edukotia a dine rent to abruchiri. Or sisi an abino, the umbesom yen say, Omode a jumadi bi ba, I was say embassies, Ghana for ambassadors or more abruchiri afanenano. Ye pe a dia ye betono matinim. Into Wabeko Hubian a Ghana buying dine, a Ghana for ye dia ubetinim. Sa a dine crown, President took Kwaikono Bahwa. Nasa, ye share, Nasa security ya, President Krabi to me at Naho. Inti we nyoma omo edit to akwema opese eye na ban no estati edi hudwuma ni manim he ya na ambassadors no anase eye embassy se ewo ewiase afa na nyina na ye rent dan a ye tam sika ewo Ghana na ye de kwa kotua sa rent no oso opese otwam sene be ya at the end of the day no ye ni ankasa betumi ayeden ye rent cry we are renting to own. Said Dambo on yes, you could near Cassia pa abrochi obetuma rent to own. Edan we may rent it, but may rent it for 5 years. After 5 years, no me tua e kan nyina ewie. Into your free mortgage. Into Sedani $100,000. The Ben is a Busumi Biano, Ghana by between 200. Yenim say in fear me and sa in fear na Edina Bay dia. And that is something that he is implementing because the amount of money we threw out there. Uboa or ambassador, ne yere ne mbanyina eda ho Ghana. Uboa or your non-kwana ho, ne akọ rented 7-bedroom house, ne diamano. Uboa ne rented 4-bedroom house. Miken Sebio Uboha Nemanyini Yini, on your banity, on an Yerenkwa eneti, into a Kwaniaman 1 chef and now 1 security. Sani Pano, on here a 7-bedroom house, on here a 5-bedroom house. Sani Pano, on here a very decent house, 2-3-bedroom house, decent. Because on the Yerenkwanity, and you can see majority of these ambassadors, most of them, they are not traveling with their kids. So more primary and JSS into member and some member 9 majority of them they don't even want to do that. Into we have to be very moderate in the way we spend. Into President John Mahama say Sadia na obeto ye no o twem te sia no every building bia ambassador bia ekotinim no we need to start a process of doing what we call renting to own. Into a dan bia ende ye pama ambassador bia no e dan a ye di ho nkomo e tua rent say e betua fa na abeye Ghana dia inti embre no edru a na se Ghana ni bia ekọ Belgium a edan a okom no Ghana japade ni atia na nsen before election 2024 ena Nana Danko Akufo-Addo nebusuafo ekodi contract bi sika mokai company bia na energy company a na my ngrimkania a Akufo-Addo mo ene ekodi boni bi ma company ne ka say omni yenye dwuma biem a company ne ka say omni ye court to UK ma UK court eka say yentua compensation ema sa company no which is judgment debt sa sika na yentumi ntua boka say before election 2024 sa company no through the bank no the tabono koto ye embassy ni so ene yenjapade bi wo UK. That is what this president is trying to avoid, because you see what we need to do is we need to own properties. It needs to be ours. We are not supposed to be renting and at the same time trying to protect somebody's property. It is not our responsibility. And the decision the president has taken, the decision John Mahama has taken, you see, Debbie Amekache Ghana for say me, I worship John Mahama, I worship the wisdom in his head. I don't worship him as a politician, because there are so many politicians like John Mahama. There are so many politicians John Mahama. But the only difference John Mahama wa Akufo-Addo nino and Nyan said that John Mahama trim. The difference between John Mahama and J. Akufo and Nyan said that John Mahama trim. The difference between John Mahama and Bawumia say Nyan said that John Mahama trim at the chichirmaino. Bawumia nibi. Bawumia or Nyan sa yadi chichiri or Nyan sa yadi ton to mama oyerepa tuma. Or Nyan sa be yadi to makeup. Or Nyansa yadi den lelele, but Bawumia nim Nyansa yadi chichiremain, the same as Kennedy. Kennedy Japan Nyansa yadi wo, yadi bojantra de wo rough. No, I would 30, no nam. Or San Nyansa ni be yadi da ma. Bema wa rough no, onya bema obetuma ginedi, obetuma kunwa to atwene. If we say na kono or not to them no kase or Junso aba obeko no baba akotara dan ho. And such men are lizards. Omunya bema obetumi agye omwedi. Obi te say eye country. Onya nipa bia Sibia obon the tie crash and Adwinachia. Onyo bia obetumi adwene eye nyoma bi ma aboa Ghana. Kobre Japan or snitch or conconseni or kaho and a party gu year from 2015. And these are people. Bryan Acheampong bekache soko US Army. Bema utwatro. Bema utumishe security chi etata nkofo botu edise Bryan Acheampong. Pe ayawa so West Wagon document no any video say hu no. Onye nipa obetumi de ora hye mu because oye wudifo. Obetumi adane anytime to come after you. So we share a time and now he was in charge of national security. And when after the whole commission report, he being seen as somebody who needed to be punished. Bryan Acheampong cannot be somebody who can put a country's fate in his hand, or a very dangerous human being. And these are things Emma John Mahama unique from these people who want to contest. And see, when I say I like John Mahama and I worship John Mahama, it is not him as a human being. I worship the intelligence, unique vision, or the boa asakra Ghana. Do you understand? Politics in here, you know. Yeah, you go Mr. Mr. P, stay with me, team. Inti asamna na mekano. Tesi a impetekuba kwa sorry Kevin Taylor. Da ban ene Akufo-Addo mreso ye ka say ya Ghana dan ewo UK. MPP for do na anko SS inti oya dia na wenya abota chichirim because majority of MPP for no anko SS pe musa dankwa data or abeche research no inti mamemfa the evidence in the bra. Trafigura seizes Ghana's Regina house in London over 134 million judgment debt default. We 2024 August Akufo-Addo na president Bawumia na vice sa time no nkwasiafo we ekodi sika ema company bi de nsa koto ye Jakpa so. These are some of the reasons in John Mahama, the president of the republic, eka say we need to own our own properties. We need to be able to manage our own properties around the world. So our diplomatic mission yen call for edi omoko akojinim amaye ewo omama so no. Into technically John Mahama is telling you say we as a country we need to own property in every country. This is big. When you own a property in every country, you have a share in that country. John Mahama is technically, he is basically trying to make sure Ghana owns shares in every single country, embassy around the world. So he is basically building, we are becoming a superpower indirectly. Because you have one property, another property. A time will come, that company will have, that country will have to sit with us to negotiate. Another property, it is at a place the country will have to negotiate with us before they pull it down. And that part, we become the lead negotiators. So that is some of the things, those are some of the things here say and obviously, John Mahama made to me at the top, it will cut down the wastage in the system. We are not going to waste what we call $15 million and over every year on rent. Majority of our diplomats, they are just there with their wives. They are not there with their family. So why do they need 6-bedroom house renting and paying in dollars? These are things that receipting am the Acheampong NPP for terminal report in Bawku and am the Acheampong. Now the stories we was here. Story in the Bawku. Another good story abani ye adwuma wo. Abani ye adwuma, abani bu adwuma. Na I say MPP for no magimi. Omje nsa Ghana for no ye ncheche ye kire Ghana for adwuma NDC abani ebo. Now this is another important step this government has taken. One of those promises are abano promise say John Mahama promise say Ghana for increment for. And so promise it is becoming a reality. So in Kribunina wa Ghana, also TSS say Abai is looking out for every single Muslim. The issue with Arabic teachers issue near Tikrumha and a Mustafa Hamid. Adeba kunti amempe Mustafa Hamid asem and they say one or the Quran na politics and time wa mabrabum. That Mustafa Hamid Adeba ko mami chirisa ofrija to ne say or the Quran na politics. And me the moment I would the Bible and a Quran be politics I hate you. Because you see when you do that then you are trying to use the word of Allah ana onyankopon to deceive men. 90% of what politicians say when it comes to politics, 90% of politicians they don't really say the truth. A few of them are honest with us and do some of the things we want. Along the way, when we meet a politician who is honest, kakra, we need to hold on to that politician, said John Mahama, because every politician is shall with this. When somebody like Mustafa Hamid, wallahi, and at the end, Mustafa Hamid mobile MPP, almost say Bawumia in Krimuni, or your vice president, Mustafa wallahi, and the Quran chapter they came and they said they have a whole ministry for Zongos, and the 2 months of Muguno. Because I'm the dad and cream for. Moka I say before election 2020, John Mahama suggested and I said oka semisa and kadi and kopeso implemented around the nation. That was cold rooms for Masalachi. Technically, now ankopeso or building just a cold room. A cold room sebio yenuanum kremoni or talk. Ebi onya accident or car accident and I yare born a homachi na say ye pese prepare the body in less than 24 hours to go burial. You bet to me the air de emum no and our body no alcohol ama respect edware no na ya amamre wo se ye na ye de ba abontini ko sie. NPP for Mustafa Hamid Mahamudu Bawumia sa akwebina na ya Ashanti regional chief imam no wewu no on the on ne nyankopon asem nyankopon ene ne beka enya me njaji nipa onyankopon kwa na wotumi a obegyaji nipa de waya wasase su bia no onyankopon nanim San confoni nyina pia bonte beka che Ghana for say eye die okosi mochire masalachi e no mukeka nkwasi asemwa. That was something very good. That was something that was very, very good. Anka and the masala chibia eye ebia regional anya ebia district masala chibia anka cold room tarwa, it will do us a good so much good. But NPP, Mustafa Hamid Bawumia, sorry, they did propaganda. This is something that somebody who was born into a Muslim family or a Muslim community, grew up with Muslims, understand the religion and understand what Muslims go through when they lose one of their own, and understand the respect we need to give to a Muslim their body. That's what I say. And the Kramabe Christoni, but maybe I'm free no and that particular thing I respect. Yenyan kremofo to be sorry ekasetia we omunyan kremofo me munafikis Mustafa Hamid Mahmoud Bawumia omojimi they actually rose up and fought it. But omure fi say sebio yenyina onyankopon twedi ampon kwame obeto ne nsafre. I am not scared to die because man is born to die. The moment you are scared to die is when you know what you are doing on this planet. It is not something Allah at the end of the day Allah iniso. But if you know you are living a life that onyankopon ene wonkwa o hyedem no unim se onyankopon ni so you are not scared to die. And to me, I've never been scared to die. I've never been scared because I know today. So onyankopon can say, Kevin, that is it for you. I know there's a special place I am going because of the life that I am living. And see, I have never had a problem with you going to die tomorrow or you go no. I've always tried to make the every day my last day on this earth and try to make things right. And these people found a way, and that way was that they had to bring that down. Mustafa Hamid, Mahmoud Bawumia. Now, and John Mahama eshe Ghana for bo or share incremo for more Ghana bo. The embassy say Youth Employment Agency (YEA) signs a memorandum of understanding with the Islamic Education Fund or unit to recruit 3,000 Arabic instructors. John Mahama she incremo for bo or say. So, be the president, we have limited number of Arabic instructors. Arabic. And a lot of the makarantas we are lacking malam sir. They can teach the Arabic for the kids to understand the religion and the kind of country they live in and the principles of Allah. And John Mahama through YEA say they are going to recruit 3,000 of the Islamic teachers, Arabic instructors to make sure say they inculcate. They hold on onto the principles that makes a Muslim. You need to be able to read the Quran and understand. And the first principle of a Muslim is to understand the language Allah understands. And that is you understanding the word of Allah. Allah speaks so many languages, but the word of Allah is unique. And it comes in different forms. The moment you are able to understand Allah's language, then you have become one of Allah's children. You need people who can direct our young people, our young Muslims, to understand the language of Allah. The moment they are not able to understand the language of Allah, it becomes difficult for the young person to understand why Allah should be somebody he should be worshiping every day. The instructors are very important. You need them to give the kids the fundamentals to understand why they are Muslims. Because there are people who are Muslims, but they are Muslims who don't even understand their work on this planet. And there are some people who are jihadists, but they call themselves Muslims. Their principles are different from people who believe in Allah because Allah believes in peace. Islam stands for peace. So if you don't understand the principles of the Islamic religion, then it becomes difficult for you to follow the principles of Allah. The 5 pillars of Islam is very important. But how do you understand it? You need people to guide you as a young man. You need people to indoctrinate you for you to believe and understand the language of Allah. Into this decision that the NDC government has taken through the YEA, it is the beginning of trying to make sure that the Islamic religion has its better root in Ghana, and the new generation coming up will have those principles that makes them real Muslims who believe in peace and Islam. These are things when president and the government does, they are not just doing it, they are doing it to solidify, to make sure say Islamic religion, it stands on its feet. I keep telling some of my Muslim friends, I know and I've studied the Islamic religion majority of them. I just don't talk about it because in life, sometimes you have to let people find a way to know you. You are not supposed to force or impose yourself on people. And see, we need to support these kind of things. And I will urge people in Ghana who are Muslims, who have a little bit of money in their hand. These are some of the things you push money into. So this is where you find a way to come together as Muslim millionaires or whatever. Try and find a way to get to the president and say, we want to dedicate, put a fund together. We will put money in to sustain this for years. You don't need to go to Mecca to show that you respect or you adore Allah. But these are some of the things, because all that Allah needs is for his word to live. The longer Allah's word lives on this planet, the longer Allah stays, because the word of Allah is Allah. And if we want to keep the word of Allah with men, then it means we want to keep Allah with men. And we, the people with a little bit of money, as Muslims, this is where we push the money to. Push into this. Let's get more instructors. Let us get more people who are willing to put their lives on the line to teach the younger Islamic children what Islam represents. And it should not just be the government. We need Al-Hajis who have money, who are willing and ready to sustain the Islamic religion in Ghana. Put yourselves together. There was some Sikafobia Ghana, a group, a year no modeko, a man of the Nketiah. You have a reason to put your money into something that is everlasting. And these are basic things. And I support the president through the YEA boss, who is Basintelli. They are trying to inculcate the principles of Islamic religion into the younger ones. So 3,000 Arabic instructors. Yeah, but before Munina, Amomachre in Quarano. Senya ye kan Quran, eti osumanase. Senya they will not move away from the principles of Allah. So I applaud the government for this. I'll be following up on this. And I'll make sure, say, John Dramani Mahama and this NDC government, they go through this and make sure, say, it needs to work. At least we should secure the future of young Islamic scholars. We should secure the future of a young Muslim boy or girl. We should at least leave something to them. We should give them Allah. We should let them understand who Allah is. We should give them the principles of Allah. At least, that hope that when they believe in the principles of Allah, at least the world will still stay the way it is. So we need to do this. The makarantes are supposed to be developed. We need to have ultra-modern makarantes around the nation. They are not supposed to be classrooms, Saito schools. We need to build modern makarantes around the nation. Makarantes with sophisticated equipment, modern equipment. We are not supposed to lower it and make it look like some dirty school. We need to upgrade makarantes around the nation. We can decide to build 10 or 16 regional makarantas around the nation. Every region will have an ultra-modern makaranta, at least every region. So they can be going there as a research center. They can visit. People would know what the Islamic religion represents. So if we are able to build in the 16 regions, each one very good, sophisticated, modern makaranta that can take about 500 kids at a time, cinema halls, for them to know, what the religion they are in. That is how we build the kids. That is how we make them understand the kind of religion they are in. So I would suggest to the government, if I get the opportunity to speak to Basintelli or people in this government who are Muslims, I will tell them that they should try and draft a program whereby every region will get one regional makaranta that is unique. It can pick at least 500 children at a time. It becomes a place where they will visit. They can be at the district and be doing the district makaranta, but at a point, some districts will come together, 6, 7 districts. They bring all of them there. You showcase what Allah means. You showcase what the Islamic religion means. It is something that should happen. If you people don't do it, I will use my money to do it. And Allah in his own wisdom knows right now I don't have the money. But Sikabe come in Sema, I will do it. I will build regional makarantas in every region, 16 of them. And they will all look the same. They will have everything in there. We want to say 16 a Christian training center. Every region 1. Let's say 32. Allah be mamiska. God will give me that money. Allah will give me that money. Allah, he will give me that money. He will give me the money, and I'm very confident I will do this till you'll be shocked. I will build it. 16 regions, Bia or Makaranta, unique one, Bako, Kasia Bako, a 500. 16 region biya bewo a one special Christian village. 16 region biya bewo Bawku. That is what you do. You let the religion represent. Obiba, Ghana is a secular state. In Krimufo how a Christopher how. Let it show. Enyam kwasi asika nkofo akotu amena abetuwe. Inti enyi na enfri adenkrije niembra National Cathedral. No, let's take it to the people. Let's take the word of Allah to the people. Let's take the religion to the people. Let them be comfortable. All right. Alabama miskan me I know. But me was asking Alabama me. And Messi. Hey, Messi. Hey, Alaji. Famomo na yebesi. Mr. Kevin, I don't know see a great idea. I say yes, see more than makaranta. We have about 7 different parts of that makaranta. They teach agriculture there. Apart from the makaranta being there, a modern makaranta no, your baby a chere agric. In Krimufon Korano, they will go there sometimes to go learn about agriculture. Being a Muslim and understanding agriculture. We will teach places where you can choose what you want to learn. A modern place. And you say you call Quran and Kwao. Obawa, and you can say you bet me 15 district. For 3 days. You are going to be there. There are hostels there. In Quran ba 3 days no more. Omusha makaranta no, omusha Quran. Now your time for them to go and learn agric. So there are other places there, sections. Mom person something about agric. No, you for agric 3 days. So they start to add religion to practicals. That is what we need to do. And you just makaranta, you can't Quran and Quran. The Quran part is there, but you need to also add the education part. Into so the agric can one. What you do is the same into a 10-acre place. There is a place where it is what? It is for the class. You see Quran, and there's a place for a small farm to teach the kids how to get into agriculture. That is what you do. It will entice them because I crowd about makaranta no. So your makaranta na say your chance be a that kid will be so interested. It will be boring to just go there and read Quran and go home. But there are other activities that are also very important. The Islamic school no. There are so many Islamic schools in Ghana, but I am focused on makaranta. Makaranta is very important.